Hello there. Once again, it's Anton from Anton Bay. And oh, I finally got this. Finally got it from GameStop. I actually did a pre-order on this guy. And can you believe it? I walked into the store today and they had put it on the shelf. And then like, oh, shoot, sorry. Here's your figure. It is what it is. Anyway, we're going to crack this guy open. Big, chunky bastard. Ooh, you know what? I never even noticed this huge-ass cape in there. That's nice. So anyway, I know people have gotten this thing left and right before I did, but I take it when I can get it. Lay down then. That's pretty much that. I don't like how his hand just immediately fell off right out of the box. That's kind of not cool, but we'll see if that does a little better. This face is odd, since I don't remember him being that happy. If I remember right, he was kind of a not cheerful guy. Ooh, what do we got here? We've got some sort of rubber thing, I guess. Those just plug back into that. We'll put the big A's grumpy face back on. Maybe. Oh my gosh. Arrgh. There. All right, that looks much more like the Apocalypse, the scowling, sad bastard that he is. And I've been wanting this figure because I started reading comics right at the start of the Age of Apocalypse. That was like the biggest thing. That got me invested, and that's what got me reading like X-Men comics all the time. This guy is, well, he's kind of Build-A-Figure class. He's one of the big deluxe ones. He comes with an extra fist. He comes with an open hand so he can hold the skull, because, he'd love doing that type of stuff. Holding the skull. The already talked about Laughing Boy face, which I don't think we probably don't need that right now. Let's see how this cape attaches. Does it attach with the shoulder pads, or do I have to take the shoulder pads off? Nope. You can keep the shoulder pads on. There's peg holes. They just clip right in there, which tells me, play with it around much, and that's going to fall like right off. That is not going to stay on there worth a damn. But his articulation is pretty great. Articulation. I'm going to go ahead and throw this cape off while we check that out. Right off the bat, he feels a little loose. I love a good ab crunch. That's a pretty soft ab crunch for this big of a dude. Big ball joint at the shoulders, upper bicep swivels, angle jointed elbows, a hand that falls off too easily, and it doesn't look like they have much articulation in them. Looking at them, yeah, they do have a swing pivot, but it looks like there's so much cuff gauntlet thing going on here that's not going to be that usable. Same way with the head articulation. You got a peg on a swivel in there, but with this collar thing, it's not quite the most posable. You get a waist rotation, ball joint at the hip, upper bicep cup, double jointed knee. Do we get? Yeah, we get a boot rotation and an ankle rocker pivot at the ankle. I always say that, ankle rocker pivot at the ankle. Anyway, he's a big, impressive guy. Big, impressive figure. Let's go ahead. I happen to still have, I'm going to move this down slightly so you can get the full scope of him. This is him next to a standard 6-inch scale. This is Marvel Legends Aurora from Alpha Flight. You get the idea. He's a pretty big, beefy figure. But I'm sure what I really want to know is, how does he compare to the Build-A-Figure, which I worked my ass off to get? What's different? What's the same? So let's compare him to that. Now this is much more the Apocalypse design we're more familiar with. And I've never actually looked at the Apocalypse designs straight across. So right up the front, looks like the legs are the same, the top of the thighs are the same. The arms and ab is the same. Torso's the same. Boots are obviously different. There's a big difference in those. These look more like kind of reused Thanos boots from something. And these, I don't know where those would have came from. The adornments on his forearms are definitely different. But you know what? The buck is the same. I think the height is almost the same, except something in there is a little bit different. Probably this crotch piece is slightly different. I don't know. A lot of this is looking really similar. I'll bet you it's in the legs. Yeah. These legs are just slightly longer right there than these. And so when you put them straight to straight like that, this one comes off a little bit taller. And I think maybe this one's head is set just slightly lower. This one's head is a little bit higher up. Gosh, it's hard not to point out. I think this Build-A-Figure's got like, I don't know, he's got like a darker paint wash or something's going on with him that makes him feel, I don't know, more expensive, which maybe he is. I mean, this guy is essentially $30 to buy at a store, where this guy is like, you know, freaking pain in the ass. You got to put together a bunch of figures and buy them all, or buy the Build-A-Figure by itself. So he is pretty pricey. Definitely one suits one look and one suits another look. I'm going to give it to this guy for having a cape, though. And his shoulder pads kind of rock. I'm into those. And he definitely has more of a... This guy looks like he's working on conquering the world, or could conquer the world. This guy looks like he already did, and now he's kind of bored and relaxed with it. I am going to throw in one more comparison. As you may have saw in the thumbnail. This is what I've been using as my standard Apocalypse for years, because I didn't want to spend so much on the old Build-A-Figure, the really huge Build-A-Figure. I just wasn't into that kind of price point. So let me see here. I'm just gonna have to hold it. This is the Marvel Toy Biz 10-inch Apocalypse. He's basically exactly like the little 4.5, the 5-inch one that originally came out, except that he was just a blown up scale. And you can see he's much more similar to this version of Apocalypse, but in a much more cartoony rendition. I've often thought about maybe throwing like a dark wash on this guy. He does have a soft head, which makes it hard because that is difficult to paint. But I just wanted to throw him in as a comparison to kind of get an idea of what some of the other Apocalypses are. And if you're looking for a big Apocalypse, like really big, he can be had for a lot less than these. He's of course a much cheaper designed figure. But if you're just looking for size, that's what I went with. He also comes with like an arm that you could change out and stuff like that. So does this guy top this guy? I don't think so. I'm still much happier that I have my original Apocalypse, and I think I prefer this one to the large one, just because of room on the shelf and scale. And if you have them posed together, having something this size just seems kind of more appropriate with the other scale figures. This guy definitely calls back to the AOA, to the just that era of comics in general. Love it to death. I don't think I love it more than this one, but I do love it a lot. And then of course we've got our big old blue Banana Man here, which, you know, he is what he is. He looks great on a shelf, but probably not in the same category as these guys. Plus you can have one of those for like, I think $12 is what I paid for that one. Anyway, that's my comparison. I used to have the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends. Don't have that anymore. I used to have both of these in the smaller, not Toy Biz, Toy Biz, but not Marvel Legends figures. Anyway, those are in another video if you want to check that out. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I got. This guy rocks. He's definitely worth the $30 and definitely rocks. So I appreciate it. That's my story. Catch you guys later. Bye.